Okay, so this is the second part of our following tutorial series, which is the database management system. So you probably watched the first video, which is the database core concepts or database management core concepts. So in that video, I was planned to do next uh, session as an next session the SQL, but the request was to do ER modeling. So for now, in this session, I was going to cover ER modeling. So this topic is very essential when it comes to uh, analysis a database, because database when we are going to make a database, there should be a plan or there should be a blueprint what we are going to make of. So basically ER means it represents all the let's say objects or components and the particular interactions in between those objects. So basically ER diagram is let's say ER modeling means making a blueprint for a database. So okay, ER definition. So entity relationship diagram is a popular conceptual data model that represents the entities and their relationships, and basically a model to show all the infrastructural behaviors for a particular database or for a particular database. So there are some new words that you may heard of. The first thing is conceptual data model. So what is this conceptual data model means? So basically conceptual means it's kind of a based on concept, right? So before look up what is the conceptual data model, we have to analyze the life cycle of a system. So in this case the system is the database. uh, the life cycle of a system. So this is not directly relevant to the database management systems, because database management system is itself a system. So this life cycle, when this life cycle is come from the systems, computer systems, which means this is a software engineering aspect, the life cycle of a system. So you may be heard of the data models or data systems like waterfall model, hierarchical model, spiral model. So it is exact same like this life cycle of a system means basically it's like a waterfall model that we can identify in the software engineering. And this is just a abstract view for that system according to the database management systems. So as I said before, database is itself a system. So we can compare those aspects that are relevant to the software engineering life cycle by considering database management systems. Okay, so this is the life cycle. The first step is requirement analysis, conceptual and logical design and physical design, then implementation, testing and maintenance. So what we need to focus in is the second stage, which is the conceptual and logical design. So that's because that's the place where ER model comes. So conceptual and logical design. So basically conceptual means you have to initialize each object that relevant to the database. Then you have to give some map or give some blueprint or give some a workflow of that database. So imagine so if you are familiar with programming, you may have learned flowcharts. So flowchart is basically a blueprint for a particular program. It means how it works. So uh, likewise, when it comes to database management systems, we are using ER diagrams to form that corresponding database. Right? So if you are familiar with software engineering aspects, we draw use case diagrams or UML diagrams. So those are also blueprints. So basically, ER is a blueprint which represents corresponding database management system. So that's why we are calling it as a conceptual data model, because it's just a concept. It's not a actual view of a database, because actual view of a database is made by using SQL or any other database language. So it is kind of different. But before making that database in a working stage, we have to initialize what are the relevant objects and what are the relevant relationships, what are the relevant interactions in between those objects. So so if you know this first step, requirement analysis, that is the place where analyzing each and every requirements that should corresponding database should have. So in that step, which means the requirement analysis, we are looking for what are the relevant objects in the database. So it might be a so imagine student data management system. So the corresponding objects will be students, teachers, and the employees, yeah, who working on the school, such as there will be having multiple of objects, and there will be relations in between those objects. So each and everything we are going to analyze that requirement analysis system. Then we come to conceptual and logical design. Then we design a corresponding ER model for that objects and interrelations in between those objects. Okay, so what you have to identify is conceptual data model means ER data model, and ER data model means basically a blueprint or basically a map, or it's kind of a representation of DBMS or database. Okay, so in conceptual and logical design phase, we create the conceptual schema, which means the ER diagram, according to the user requirements. So these user requirements are gathering in that requirement analysis phase. So it is not relevant to our topic. We are just going to cover this conceptual and logical design. So the outcome is conceptual schema, which means the ER diagram. So there are two types of diagrams. So first one is entity relationship diagrams, which means ER diagrams. The second one is extended entity relationships diagrams. Okay, so in this session, we are only going to cover this ER diagram part, because I'm not familiar with EER, which means extended entity relationship diagrams. I'm not familiar that aspect. I'm just only so therefore I'm just only going to cover up these entity relationship diagrams, ER diagrams. So as I said before, basically ER model represents the conceptual schema, which means the conceptual data model. Okay. So yeah, diagram is basically a workflow, blueprint, map, sketch, or representation of the database management system or database. Right. Okay. So when it comes to ER diagrams, there are three major aspects of it. Okay, so the first aspect is entity types, which means entities, then the attributes, then the relationships. So those are long topics. So probably this session will be divided into four parts. Which then the first part we will going to cover up the entity types or entities. Then we are going to look up attributes, then relationships, then finally we are going to draw ER diagrams or model ER diagrams by using those aspects. Okay, so this is the first part. So entity types or entities. So there are some graphical representation of the entities, but in this stage maybe you are not familiar with those notations and those symbols, uh, but that's okay. Just remember, this is how we are going to represent entities, attributes and relationships. So basically we are represent an entity by using this rectangle notation, and each entity has a name. And how we are going to represent attributes? By just using this oval shape symbol. So I will teach you how this attribute varies in later. And this is the relationships. This is the most important part, relationships, because all the relationship, because of the relationships, RMDBS are made. Or let's say all the R DBMS are depends on these relationships, relational database management system. Therefore, relationship is most essential aspect in the database. So this will be a long part, relationship, and the first part and second part will be kind of easy. Okay, so what you have to remember is there are three parts in the relationship diagram. First thing is entity types or entities, then the attributes, then the relationships. Okay, so here notations. So here notation are the symbols what represent the conceptual schema or ER diagram. So there are some main symbols that you want to know in this stage. So more will be discussed later. So these are the basic notations or basic symbols that you should know in order to create a ER model or in order to draw a ER diagram. Okay, so this is the symbol for entity, just a rectangle, and this is the diamond shape of symbol for relationships. And for weak entity, there is a double line rectangle shape, and there's a double line diamond shape for weak relationship. And oval shapes are represent the attributes. So there will be four attributes in this stage. So first is normal attribute, a general attribute. So it will be represented as a generic oval shape. And the key attribute is also generic oval shape, but there is a line in order to represent, that is a key attribute. So if you remember the database store concept, when you are initializing the primary key in the relevant relation, we identify or we represent that attribute as key attribute. So how did we represent that attribute is by just underlining that attribute name. So likewise, when it comes to ER notations, we are going to represent key attributes by using this oval shape and its own straight line. Okay, so this attribute is multi-valued attribute, and which having two oval shape outlines, and this is for the weak attribute. So if you analyze this weak entity and weak relationship and this weak attribute, so these weak entity, weak relationship and weak attribute are not following the same model, because these have two lines and this relationship, weak relationship have two lines, but this weak attribute not having two outlines, which having two outline is the multi-valued attribute. So don't try to follow a pattern for these symbols, because these are just symbols, these are just notations. That is how ER diagram made of. There is no logic in between these symbols. So don't follow weak entity as double line, then weak relationship has double line, and then don't think weak attribute should have also a double line. Okay? What has double line is the multi-level attributes. So what I'm emphasizing this fact because if you follow the pattern, then there will be some controversial situations. So don't follow a pattern. Just remember this is how you draw notations. So this is what we are conspiracy coming. Multi-value attributes that represent by using two outlines, and weak attributes are represented using these dotted lines or dash lines, dash out lines. Okay, so these are the basic notations that you should know before going to draw ER diagram. Okay, so what is the entity or what is weak entity? Because that previous slide, in this slide, this entity, weak entity came, and now we are going to talk more descriptively about these aspects, which are the entity and weak entity. So entity types. So entity is an object that exists, what I have told before. An entity could be a place or person or instance. So if you followed the first video, which is the database core concept, I have been descriptively taught what entity means. So if you remember that definition, basically an entity means a place or person or an instance. So due to that entity, so in that entity there could be two types of variations. The first type of entity is strong entity. The second type of entity is weak entity. Right. So those are very general components that we found out in ER diagrams. So yeah, there are two types. First one is strong entity and second one is weak entity. Okay. So first let's analyze strong entity. So as the definition, strong entity is an entity that can exist independently, also have a primary key. So this is a very essential definition. Always remember, a strong entity can exist independently, which means there won't be necessary to having any kind of another relationship or relation which attach this strong entity. So you might be having some kind of confusion right now because we haven't learned relationships and weak relationships yet. So for now, just remember, strong entities can exist independently, which means it is not necessary to attach for another entity. Okay. And also have a primary key. So we know that every entity have a primary key because that's how relations are made of. When it comes to ER diagrams, we found out now there are two variations. First one is strong entity and the second one is weak entity. So that relation means that relations we discussed in core concept, it means this strong entity. We haven't still discussed weak entity, and for now we don't know what are the relevant features in the weak entity. So just imagine strong entity is a general entity which having a primary key and that can exist independently. And normally we also call this strong entity as a parent. Okay, no, in this stage we are not calling as a parent, that comes in weak entity, so just ignore that. So these are strong entities. So I have been given some graphical representation for that entities. So the first one is employee. So it's a person, and department. So it's a place, and a project. So it's an instance. So what I have been representing here It's just a basically definition for the entity. So in the previous, if we go to previous slide, so the definition is uh, entity could be a place or a person or a instance. So in here it could be a person, it could be a place, or maybe it could be an instance, right? That's how basically strong entities are made of. And those are the everything that you know for the strong entity for now. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So weak entity. So this is the second type of entity. So weak entity is an entity that can not exist independently, also do not have a primary key, but should be having a partial key. Okay, so weak entity can't uh, depend. Okay, so let's say weak entity can't exist independently, which means there should be having some kind of another entity which attached to this weak entity. Otherwise, this entity won't be exist, because that's why we are calling as a weak entity. So, so if you are familiar with that model we discussed in maybe it's in DBMS. So if you are familiar with hierarchical model, so hierarchical model means basically there are parent and child relationship. So child won't exist without parent relationship, parent repository or parent class, and parent means that's the strong aspect, and that can exist independently. So when it comes to DBMS, that parent aspect can be considered as the strong entity, and that relevant child component can be considered as weak entity. So when it comes to weak entity, each weak entity have a relevant parent entity or strong entity. It is necessary. That's how weak entities are formed, like following the hierarchical manner or hierarchical data model. And there is no primary key, because if there are a primary key, then it becomes a relation. When if it is become a relation, which means it become automatically an entity, then entity means is a general entity, then it becomes normally a strong entity. That is not what we want. We want to make a weak entity, which means a dependent entity. So therefore, there will not be having a primary key like in normal relation, but they will be having a partial key. So this partial key means basically a key that is not a primary key, but it just temporarily identify as a primary key in order to make a weak entity. So you might be having some kind of confusion right now, because this partial key comes this ER model. It is just a temporary key that we are going to define in a weak entity in order to make a weak entity. Basically, partial key is only exist in a weak entity. It is not a general key like primary key, foreign key. It's not that kind of a key. It's just a key to identify records in the weak entity, which means the partial key. And those are the aspects that you should know about weak entity. The first aspect is it can't be exist independently, which means there should be have another entity. So we normally call that entity as a parent entity, and this is the child entity. So child entity represents the weak entity, and parent entity represents the strong entity. So each and every weak entity should have a relevant strong entity or parent entity. And the second point is weak entity have a partial key and it don't have a primary key. That's how weak entity is made of. So in here I have given some graphical representation for the weak entity. So the first one is dependent. So dependent is just basically a person, and room, it's a place, and subproject, so it's an instance. So if you are familiar with this word, imagine dependent. So dependent is our weak entity. So when it comes to a relevant database, is it possible to having a dependent as an individual class, or let's say independent class or independent entity? It can't be exist independently, because each dependent should be mapped or should be attached another entity. So imagine when you are considering a workplace, there should be employees. So each employees have dependents. So without employees, dependent can't exist, because dependents are not relevant to that work field. But who are relevant to that work field are only employee, but employees have dependents. So therefore, uh, employee will be strong entity which are represent the general entity in that corresponding database, and dependent will be weak entity because it's only existing because of the employee. If there are no employee, then there will be no dependent, but there could be having employee without dependent. So that's how basically weak entity means. Weak entity take place in the database management system. And the second example is room. So imagine a scenario like let's say so hotel has rooms. So basically when it comes to hotel database management system, is it possible to having room independently? No. Each room should have a hotel, otherwise there will be no meaning for that. And maybe there will be some hotels which are not having rooms. It's not the general scenario, but imagine there are some hotels that are not having rooms, so it can be exist. But if we are considering room, then there should be having some kind of a hotel. When it comes to hotel scenario, if there are rooms, then there should be having some kind of a hotel, otherwise there will be no meaning for it. So the third example is much relevant for that, for this weak entity, subprojects. So subproject can't exist without projects. So if we going to make subprojects, then there should be having some kind of project. So project is the thing which are relevant to that corresponding database, and subprojects are existing because of the projects. If there are no projects, then there will be no subprojects. But there could be having projects which are not subprojects. So what is depend is subprojects. Subproject depends on the projects. So projects is initially a strong entity type, and subprojects it is depending on the projects. Therefore, subprojects is the weak entity. So that is the whole idea about weak entity. Basically, weak entity is depending with another entity. Okay, so yeah, that's all about entity. In the next part, we are going to look out about attributes.